It's awesome. WAGSY'S World. WAGSY'S World. Have some fun. WAGSY'S World. WAGSY'S World. Like and subscribe.
Hi everyone, WAGSY here. Welcome to WAGSY'S World. Well, it's March, and of course we're going to do what makes March Madness great. Hey, stay tuned to the end of the video. I've got a bourbon review on Maker's Mark 46. You'll really enjoy that. So let's get into it. Let's get into the NCAA basketball tournament. Now, the term March Madness was first used in 1939. A reporter was writing about the Illinois State High School Championship game. Well, that was adopted that same year by the NCAA Championship Committee, which was then, that tournament was 18 field and it was won by Oregon. The tourney is also known as the Big Dance. And they went from those 8 teams to 16 teams in 1951. Then they went to 32 teams in 1975 and 64 in 1985. Now, the term wasn't used much until about 1982. Then March Madness was popularized by CBS's Brent Musburger. Now, the term helps teams promote their athletic department and basically the school in general. It's used as a promotion tool for the schools that make it. And March Madness was pushed by the NCAA and also trademarked by them. Now, the teams are selected primarily from 32 Division I conferences, the winners of those conferences. Then the other 32 teams, or what they call the at-large bids, are selected by an NCAA selection committee. Then those are broken into 4 regions and have single elimination games. Now check this out. The television income to the NCAA schools now averages $891 million annually. That's a lot of bucks. And the current contract they're in that is bringing in those kind of dollars lasts until 2032. Now, brackets. You've probably all done a March Madness bracket because there's 70 million brackets filled out every year. That's what they estimate. Now, here's some of the people that have become famous because of March Madness, or if they were known, became super famous. Here's some of the names, quite a list. Bobby Knight, Billy Packer, Bill Walton. Well, we've got some Bills going on there. Gary Bender, Dick Stockton, Clark Kellogg, Brent Musburger, Al McGuire, an old school announcer and coach. I really liked him, Notre Dame guy. Vern Lundquist. And then the most popular, probably the 2 most famous that are associated with March Madness, Bill Rafferty and Dick Vitale, baby. Okay, now how about some players? Here's some of the players that were really excelled in the tournament and got so much recognition during that. And of course, a lot of them got a lot more recognition in their pro career. But here's the ones that were famous for the tournament. Tim Duncan, Patrick Ewing, Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Christian Laettner, remember that shot, Michael Jordan, of course, Bill Walton, Bill Russell, Magic Johnson. Actually, it sounds like a who's who of the greatest basketball players of all time. Hakeem Olajuwon, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, the logo, the NBA logo. Purvis Ellison, I really liked him in college. Didn't do much as a pro, but really cool. Larry Bird. And then, of course, the Michigan team, the Fab Five. The entire team became famous because of March Madness. Now let's talk about the most NCAA titles since 1960. Well, we know it's UCLA with 11 and John Wooden. Duke, 5. North Carolina, 5. Kentucky and Connecticut both have 4. Indiana and Villanova both have 3. So there's your dominant teams, and specifically UCLA. That'll probably never be broken. If Duke didn't break it, then I don't think it will ever be broken. Now, why do I think the NCAA tournament or March Madness is great? Here's why I think so. You know, to me, it's about the kids in the stands, cheering, going crazy. It's about the band, the cheerleaders, basically the enthusiasm of young people. It's so fun to watch. And the effort that the college players put out. You know, they're not making $30 million a year yet, so their effort is genuine. And I love the chance that anyone can win it all. You know, we've had Cinderella teams, they call them, in the NCAAs in March Madness. And so I love that fact that everybody can win it. You can win it all. And also, we get a beginning look of the future stars of the NBA. That is neat as well. And I love the fact that many cities get to host a round of March Madness, and that it rotates each year. So you're getting a lot of different cities and communities involved. Basically, it's a great institution of American sports. And I definitely think it's great and love it. I've loved it since I was probably 12 years old. I watched it pretty religiously. Okay, that's it on what makes March Madness great. Let's get to what makes Makers 46 great. Well, Makers 46 was developed in 2010, and it was the first new product from Maker's Mark in 57 years. Now what they do is in the barrel they use different staves within the barrel to create a different flavor. Now most of the staves they work with are from French oak, and they toast them to different degrees. Now the reason this is called Makers 46 is because when they got to the flavor that they loved, they went to the company where they buy the French oak staves from and said, this is the one we want. And the people looked it up and they said, okay, in our file we call that number 46. And from there, Maker's Mark said, well, that's going to be Maker's Mark 46. Cool little story. It's 94 proof and it's aged about 7 years. Now the mash bill, the makeup, the recipe is 80% corn, 16% wheat, and 14% barley. Now I've got a quote about Maker's Mark. Julian Van Winkle, the grandson of Pappy, nicknamed Pappy. Pappy was also Julian, by the way. So Pappy Van Winkle's grandson, he quoted this: if you can't find Pappy's and you can't find Weller, drink Maker's 46. And if you can't find Maker's 46, well, just drink vodka. So nice quote from a very famous bourbon family. Now I noticed normally, you know, I would take a sip of this and kind of rate it. This is one of my most favorite bourbons because the vanilla, the caramels, the traditional bourbon flavors, and it's a little sweeter because of the wheat, but not overwhelming whatsoever. Very complex. And I got here, now this is sometimes you make a mistake. I forgot a glass. So the only way I know to do it, and Mom and my wife and whoever, sorry for the manners here, but I literally forgot a glass. Oh, so good. I'm a big Maker's Mark fan in general, but for a sipping whiskey, they really hit a home run with 46. Highly recommend if you've never had it, and it's pretty easy to find and not all that expensive. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Tune in. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell. I would appreciate it very much, and have a great weekend.
WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, it's awesome. WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, have some fun.